Welcome to StopFake, the place where we debunk disinformation about Ukraine and set the record straight. I'm Irena Chalupa with this week's edition of Dissected Russian Disinformation. This week we present the following fakes. Illegal Ukrainian arms flood into Poland. Ukraine to become a black market for organ transplants. Droves of Ukrainians flood into Crimea. So let's get to the details. Polish-Ukrainian relations are a frequent target of disinformation generated not only by Russian but also by Polish media. This is the case with an opinion piece published in the Polska Niepodległa portal about an alleged flood of weapons from Ukraine into Poland, seemingly for the purpose of building an underground Ukrainian army. In an article filled with references to anonymous sources declaring that Polish officials are benefiting from arms smuggling, columnist Łukasz Pawelski claims the Poland-Ukrainian border is an unsecured sieve through which thousands of illegal arms flow into Poland. He quotes from anonymous sources in the ABW, Poland's domestic intelligence agency, which claim that there is a deliberate, ongoing illegal transfer of weapons to Poland from Ukraine. StopFake reached out to Poland's Ministry of the Interior and Administration to ascertain how much, if any, illegal arms are coming into Poland from Ukraine. The number of smuggled weapons has remained at a steady level over the last years, a representative of the ministry said. In 2014, Polish authorities confiscated 14 weapons on the Ukraine-Poland border, 26 items in 2015, 30 in 2016, and 49 this year. On its website, Poland's border service provides comprehensive information on all illegal arms confiscated on its borders. While there have been some attempts to smuggle weapons from Ukraine into Poland, the numbers are a far cry from the flood that Pawelski writes about. Pawelski also claims that 5 T-64 tanks entered Poland from Ukraine without any supervision. Only after they were well into Polish territory did Polish police become interested in this convoy. Pawelski thinks the tanks dumped weapons in Poland before the police intercepted them. Poland's Interior Ministry informed StopFake that on May 2nd of this year, a military convoy crossed the Ukraine-Polish border with the knowledge and permission of Poland's Defense Ministry and was escorted by Polish police. There was nothing illegal or suspicious about this transport, and Polish authorities were well aware of its movements and purpose. Ukraine's health ministry plans to introduce a pilot kidney donor transplant program in 2018. The program has yet to be approved by parliament, but it is already hailed by Russian media as one that will not only destroy public health, but turn Ukraine into a black market transplant center. Ukraine's Deputy Health Minister Oleksandr Linchevsky told StopFake that such claims are part and parcel of a larger Russian disinformation narrative, that Ukraine is establishing an organ transplant black market. Linchevsky points out that proposed Ukrainian legislation stipulates individuals can donate their organs after death. Potential donors are to be registered in a central database. If there is no record of a deceased individual's donor agreement in that database, and if his or her immediate relatives do not give consent, it is illegal to remove organs for transplant from such an individual. The legislation also calls for the establishment of ethics committees to record the needs of the recipients and monitor the medical community to ensure transparency and goodwill. The bill also establishes much tougher criminal liability for violation of organ transplant protocols. Last year, Ukrainian doctors carried out 126 organ transplant operations. 119 of those were kidney transplants, 5 liver, and 1 lung transplant. According to a recent poll conducted by the ratings group, support for organ and tissue transplants is growing. 63% of Ukrainians believe that people have the right to donate their organs to save another person's life. According to the Russian security service Crimea border control, well after the end of the vacation season, Ukrainians are pouring into the annexed peninsula in droves. Russia's official news agency RIA Novosti and other publications featured several stories about this alleged late-season vacation rush. Official Ukrainian agencies, meanwhile, present a somewhat different picture, as do recent sociological polls. At the beginning of August, Crimea's tourism ministry reported that nearly 3 million people vacationed there in 2017. In September, that number suddenly grew to 4.5 million. Meanwhile, Russia's Federal Tourism Agency reported that as of August 30th, 3.7 million people had vacationed in Crimea. According to official Ukrainian border controls, in August 2017, 194,000 people left Crimea and 166,000 entered. Many Ukrainians have property in Crimea and want to check what state that property is in, so they head to Crimea in the summer, says Deputy Minister for the Occupied Territories Yusuf Kurkchi. Furthermore, Crimea residents who are studying in Ukrainian universities return home for summer break and head back to the Ukrainian mainland at the beginning of the school year. Former Ukrainian Crimean Tourism Minister Alexander Liev says that only 100,000 Ukrainians visited Crimea in the first half of 2017. On the eve of the summer season, the Kyiv International Sociology Institute conducted a poll about Ukrainians' summer holiday plans. Only 1% said they planned to vacation in Crimea. That's it for this week. You can find much more dissected disinformation as well as useful tools for spotting fakes on the StopFake website. Be vigilant, look out for fakes, and if you spot any disinformation about Ukraine, send it to us for a truth autopsy. I'm Irena Chalupa, and this is StopFake. Thanks for watching.